Well, he said he bought it for the company. It's the first weapon the art and sound staff used as reference. Andy thought he could program the game more realistically if he was familiar with the weapon, with its physics, as Andy put it. As I said, we are all about realism. The game has to be convincing. Hardly at all. I just met him yesterday evening at that gun club. Apparently, he helped LZP get off the ground, and of course, I knew about his game getting killed.
Andy says you were acting very friendly. Mind telling us what that was about?
What happened to what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
You're still in Vegas. What happened?
Look, let's keep this confidential, because I got a life back home. Have you ever met somebody at a party or something and clicked and wound up in the backseat of a car? I found Craig a little bit cute last night, and I was half drunk.
When did you leave his car?
I left Craig around 1:30 or so, in the AM. Garage underneath the Sphere Convention Center. Only Craig isn't staying at the Sphere. Isn't staying anywhere, really. He's between gigs and on a tight budget. A new GMC Envoy. I even know his license plate because it was personalized after the characters in his game, Fuzzy and Bill. FZYBIL, I think.
I can't think of anything else for you.
Who told you that? Maya? Typical. Trying to make me look bad, take the heat off her after she was screaming at Stan, which is why she was having problems with him. You had to know how to handle that guy, and attacking and counterattacking was bad strategy.
If you don't mind, let's just get back to the question. Did you ask Stan Everston to buy you a gun?
Of course I did. How else could I program a game this realistic without understanding the actual physics of the key weapon? Also, our art staff needed it for reference. Is any of that hard to grasp? Look, I never shot anything more real than a super soaker. Not that Stan took much convincing. He'd been wanting to buy a gun for himself for some time. He had a genuine paranoid streak. Only now that he's a murder victim, he doesn't seem quite so paranoid, I guess.
Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough. Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough.
I am indeed Craig Landers, game designer, visionary, master of the universe. I'd invite you into my office, but it's a little cramped. What's up? Ooh, sounds serious. I'll see if I can whip up a few answers. Is it serious, guys? Must have been, yeah, last night sometime. Why, you looking for him? Try the LZP demo booth. Dude lives there.
Dude died there last night. Murdered, Mr. Landers.
What is this? What, some kind of joke or something? Hey, you're not kidding, are you? Hey, that's crazy! He was breathing the last time I saw him, which must have been around 10 p.m. after the party. We walked to my car. Here. He was like my brother. I mean, LZP was our mutual thing, grew out of what we had, which was friendship, but like all brothers, we had our problems, business stuff. But we went back to the birth of LZP. Anyway, he invited me to this launch party last night, so you can see we were tight, even now. Of course, with a demanding dude like that, control freak, he's bound to rub people the wrong way. You'll have a lot of suspects to sort out. Maybe I can help. Yeah, there it is. I was handing them out at the show to, hype up the characters. Where'd you find it?
We found this at the crime scene.
I have no idea. Maybe someone tore one I handed out? I'm staying perfectly straight with you guys. Yes, I put it there. It was one of the little guys I rounded up out in the desert.
Why'd you put it in his bed?
Haven't you heard anything I've said? We were practical jokers. Stan and me, even Andy. I know it sounds like bizarre video gamer bonding, but it's true. Just happened to be between gigs, but with my rep, hey, I'll find something. One of the reasons I'm here at the show is to network and let people know I'm available. See, most designers would be at the show on somebody else's expense account, but right now, I'm on my own dime. Only I don't have many at that. Since opening day of the trade show? Guys, you're not gonna bust me for camping out, are you? I'm doing business. Give me a break. Have a heart. Don't make me move my wheels.
Parking garage security isn't the crime lab's deal, but I can see why you like the location. Pretty close to the convention center.
You're right about that. I'm not in Vegas for the gambling. A game expo like this is a prime opportunity for a designer like me to hook up with a new company. Easy for somebody with my record to talk to the top people and recruiters. Plus, I gotta stay current. See what the competition's up to and where the virtual world is heading.
Must be pretty tough, playing video games all day.
Must be tough eating donuts all day. No offense, but as often as you hear that, I get what you said. This is a tough, demanding business. Kill or be killed. I meant that figuratively. Game map of killing... Oh, come on, you can't be serious. That was a joke, an inside joke, which was the last thing I designed at LZP before we fell out, and I left the company. It was just time. I'd been in on the ground floor of LZP and helped guide its direction for years, but Stan was moving us into increasingly more violent games, and I was thinking we were getting... I'm no prude or censor, but we were definitely skirting the edge of irresponsible, okay? Kids get access to these games, even the restricted ones, and I got into this field to give players entertainment, challenging entertainment sometimes just sheer fun. But blowing people away in increasingly realistic explosions of blood and brains and bone, well, let's just say it wasn't my dream. Yeah, legally purchased in California and registered to me. Why? Did I break some statute or something? It's just Stan and Andy suggested I bring it. Something about getting the team into the reality behind first-person shooting games. Stan knew I have a gun and know my way around firearms. He thought I could give the gang a few tips. Maya. Yes. Yeah, sure. Great girl. Woman. We connected. I've always had a kind of thing for Asian beauties, and she sure qualifies. And smart and funny. Wow. We took off after the party and had a few drinks and wound up in my little four-wheel suite here.
Did you discuss her outburst with Stan?
Maybe I better go for full disclosure here. One of the things we bonded over was our mutual frustration with Stan, and what a tyrant he's been lately. It's a bummer to think about now. Oh, well... I wasn't exactly watching my watch, but I'd say just before midnight we were together in the on the back seat there till 1:30ish. Tried to do the gentlemanly thing and offer her a ride, but she said, "Oh, don't be silly, she could walk." It was just one of the outlying buildings attached to the Sphere complex. Where else? So right here in my office, which is also my bedroom. I played a few games on my handheld and finally drifted off to sleep. Back in better days, Stan and I shared a kind of warped sense of humor. Maybe I was trying to get that back, or maybe I was just trying to get back at him. But it doesn't matter, because I didn't even shoot it. That was Maya. Surprisingly, he wasn't thrilled. He had a sick sense of humor. We had that in common, a kind of dark, practical Joker streak, so I thought he'd laugh. But all of a sudden, Stan reacted like he'd grown a stick up his butt. That was the last reason I needed to hasta la vista. Hey, I do want to help, but they say a man's home is his castle, and right now, these wheels are all the castle I've got. I know all about my rights, including you needing a search warrant first. That I'll do. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. Stan's death is a shock to me. Do your tests.
Craig had his hands on the weapons case. Another potential link to the crime scene.
We have a strong connection here. The bullet's a 22, he owns a 22, his shirt is at the scene, and Landers has a bit of history with our Vic. The search warrant will be for a handgun or handgun accessories. She's on her way to interrogation now.
So what if I did? Craig plastered that pic on the target. I took aim and showed them my stuff. Gotta give Stan credit. He laughed. For a while. Maybe you guys ought to join the gun club. Me, I was raised around firearms. My dad was ex-military and his big hobby was hunting. Plus, I didn't have any brothers and kind of went the tomboy route to please Daddy, who trained me in guns from grade school. But I never could bring myself to shoot animals, so I was strictly a target range girl, and I have the medals to prove it. I used my experience to help Andy with his in-game physics simulations. Not that he showed any gratitude. After all, I'm only marketing. He's the coder.
Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough.
I can't think of anything else for you.
Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. I do remember Stan bitching about his foot itching. He said he'd got a couple of wasp stings just before he flew out here. Not his weekend, huh? Well, like I said, leave isn't exactly the word. The dude was canned, and he hasn't been able to land a job ever since, and it's been months. He's living out of his damn car, you know.
Craig didn't mention being fired. You sure he didn't leave on his own?
Dude, I was there. It was a raving blowout between those two. As for what was behind it, well, we were all working on Craig's little game, Fuzzy and Bill. We slaved on it for months and months, and it sold squat. It was total hard drive crash to Craig's ego when Stan pulled the plug on the promised sequel. Canceling the game was a shock, but Craig held on, thinking he could design Gut Wrench 3. All through development, those two were at each other's throats. And last night, they picked up right where they left off, screaming Match City. Since the start of the company, I was the first guy he hired. He could be a tough guy to work for, but we were also friends. Anyway, it was his dough and his contacts in the biz that got the company off the ground. Of course, it was my contribution, my game code, that made the company a player. I write the programming code. Back in the early days, programmers like me were God. We designed the games, created the artwork, did all the programming. Only as the industry's grown, it's got more specialized. So my code is still what makes it all happen. I am Gut Wrench 3. We were at the demo booth, getting it ready, and I took a break. Shouldn't have left those two alone, I guess. I could hear them yelling at each other, really tearing each other bloody gaping new ones.
Hey, looking for a hint? Hey, glad to help. As long as you realize that it'll count against you in your evaluation.
Where didn't I argue with Stan? We fought like brothers, I told you that. Why? Did that creep Andy say... Look, it's no big deal. I don't know what Penmore's problem is anyway. Hell, I'm the one on the outside. He's the one with part ownership of LZP now. He was the new brother. Replaced me in Stan's heart and company. Technically, I was fired. But let's just say I already had my desk cleared out. Why does that matter?
What was the reason you were fired?
The real reason, or the stated one? Because, you see, officially, I wasn't a good fit with the new vision of the company. But really, it was our disagreement about the future of LZP. And my desire to have a little goddamn responsibility about who we were selling our products to. The pisser is... I get so steamed just thinking about it. I trusted him when we set things up. So he wound up owning my intellectual property. And I'm left at square one. I created the original Fuzzy and Bill online comic years ago. Way before LZP. Then I sold Stan the full commercial rights for $1, on the understanding that he would make it into a game, with me in for a big share as an employee of LZP. We published, the game didn't sell big, but it had a following. Stan decided to bury Fuzzy and Bill, not just the video game, all other merchandising too, just to put me in my place. There the property sits, still at LZP, and here I sit, out of work and no way to make a nickel on my own creation. What? Oh, that. It'll sound lame, but I was out in the desert catching scorpions the other day. Little critters scurry around the rocks, you know, and these are my, red badges of stupidity.
You telling me you actually got into a fist fight would sound less lame. You could save us a step by letting us take an impression of your ring. We can get a warrant. Easy, but...
I got nothing to hide. Actually, I got nothing, period. Oh, crud. Wait. I demand to see a lawyer. I know my rights.
You watch too much TV, man. Stay nearby in case we have any questions. This guy takes his gaming seriously, but it's not covered by our warrant. Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough. These .22 caliber bullets are the same brand as the ones found in the body. Ah yes, the mysterious .22. At last we meet. Scorpion collectors. I just don't get it. Luckily, this is not covered by our warrant.
I've told you everything I know.
Let's fire off a round. The weapon's unloaded, but the barrel's been tampered with. Somebody scraped the inside of it. Maybe they were trying to discourage ballistics matches. The gunpowder from Lander's .22 matches the second type of powder found on the .45 automatic? The striations don't match, which is not a shock, considering the barrel's been tampered with. So I'm not ready to rule this out as the murder weapon. It would be nice to know whether this gun was futzed with before or after the crime. Our ousted game designer either knowingly or unknowingly provided the bullets that killed his former boss. The problem is, somehow all three of our suspects fired these rounds. The electron microscope confirms the gunpowder found on the forehead wound matches all three of our suspects' hands. This definitely muddies the water a little bit.
What's up?
We have a real mystery here. Let me lay it out for you. We have a 22 caliber bullet that we found in the body. Its GSR matches this box of 22 bullets. We also recovered a 22 handgun owned by one of the suspects and have found the same GSR traces on it.
Okay.
But ballistics don't match, so this weapon didn't actually fire the bullets into the Vic.
Sounds like you need to find a different 22.
Well, there's one more twist. The 45 handgun we found at the crime scene also has traces of the 22 bullets GSR on its hammer. But, as you know, it can't fire a 22 round.
That's true. But didn't I overhear something about modified rifles from the gun range?
Yeah, but that's out. It only fired paint pellets.
Same concept, Nick. How do you fire a non-standard bullet from a weapon? Modify the weapon. I'd go back to the gun shop and see what else they know.
So the crime lab's back. I was just thinking about you because our new gun club magazine came in, and it's got an article about something you were asking about, modifying guns. Take one. They're complimentary. We don't stock them, but they're easy enough to special order. Those kits are fairly popular because they let you train with less expensive rounds. 22s are way cheaper than 45s, and more common, too. Heck, around here, you can buy 22 cartridges at convenience stores. No, the only thing they bought was bullets. No problem. I'll pick one out of the wall for you. You don't have to be a gunsmith. Anybody who knows his or her way around a gun could do it in a couple of minutes. Don't even need special tools. Would you like to order one?
No, thanks. We have our own sources.
I've divulged everything I can think of.
Hey, I didn't have to go far to get that gun adapter after all. Local police reserves had one. Take this and do your tests.
Good job. Next stop, ballistics lab. We can definitely rule out Craig Lander's 22 handgun as the murder weapon. The bullet fired at the gun club does not match the bullets from the victim. We've done all we can do with that item. We've done all we can do with that item. That'll go on the trace analysis computer. That'll go on the trace analysis computer. I would have encrypted this little number myself if I was standing up to a boss like that. I've printed this love letter out for you. Looks like our Vic was busy making friends right up to the end. With a text message this close to the time of death, this could have provoked an attack. Or the messages could have been sent after the murder. Maybe somebody used Everston's cell phone to send messages, showing off the time of death.
Hey, how's the video game case going?
It's not game over yet. We've got some suspects, including a high-strung marketer, an aloof programmer, and a mysterious designer.
Any good physical evidence yet?
Nothing substantial, but it's still early in the case. We just ran his phone messages. It looks like he sent this message just before he died.
Maybe. Didn't Doc Robbins report the time of death was estimated? And you didn't actually find his phone at the scene.
If Stan sent the last message just before he died, where's his phone? Maybe someone else sent that message after the murder and then tossed the phone.
You know what Grissom would say.
Yeah. Follow the evidence.